Hello and welcome to Skeindeer Knits. My name is Ellie and I am a Norwegian living and knitting in London. And yeah, I'm Skeindeer everywhere. I am on Ravelry. I sell knitting pattern designs on there. Knitting pattern designs. I have a cold. My brain is, the cold is in the brain, okay? I can't think. But yes, I have patterns. I do Scandi inspired. I'm actually wearing, wow, okay. Let's pretend this was planned. I'm wearing one of my designs, so I do stuff like this. Also easier stuff. This is like one of my kind of big staple designs. It's the kofta that I have been wearing non-stop since it got cold. So that would be since October. So I live in this. It's made in Peer Gynt. I made it in 2018. I still haven't put on the buttons. Everyone who is a regular viewer are not surprised by this. But if you're a new viewer, hey and welcome to where I sit and talk about knitting every now and then. And I have a puppy. She may come and surprise us, she might not. We've just been out on an extensive walk, so she's actually resting on the floor. What a concept. Usually she's like back up here or over here or there as we're in my business. But yeah, I will have a big job editing this podcast, I already know, because I have the cough from hell. I swear, I got a cold at the very end of January and I was like speeding through the cold and then got a pretty bad cough, and then I've just been like really lethargic since. So that sort of sounds a little bit COVID-y, but it didn't really feel like COVID at all. Like, I've had COVID, I know what that feels like, and this was just kind of like a cold with a very lingering cough that I'm gonna have to edit out a lot. It feels like I have dust in my lungs. I'm considering like acute bronchitis or something. Like, I don't know, but I'm barely sleeping at night because cough, cough, cough. I sound like a little yapping dog, which, you know, I would know about, but so that's why my voice is the way it is. And normally I wouldn't be recording during such dire circumstances. But I have actually knit a present that I need to be giving away either today or tomorrow. So we're gonna have to just put it on here while there is some semblance of daylight. I mean, it's not much to speak of because it is grey and cloudy and my building remains completely blocked by the building across the road. So daylight is a bit of a luxury here, but we make do. So there's that. I'm just gonna get straight into the knitting, I think. Might be sucking on some strepsils and ibuprofen now and then, but I will get through this. And also, like, by the time recording is mid-February, so this cold has been lasting a while. The horrors persist, but so do I, isn't that the saying? So anyway, I wanted to show you. This is like, I put it under new designs in the show notes, but like, obviously I have announced this one before. It is currently available in Lane Magazine's Nordic issue, so it's like separate from their normal magazines. It's like a special issue with Nordic inspired patterns, so lots of Nordic designers and yarn companies, stuff like that, and also all the designers that got inspired by the North. So I had two designs in that. I got to do a jumper, a pullover if you will, and a hat, and they have sent me back the samples. It's still exclusive to the magazine for the time being, so that's where you can get these patterns, but I just wanted to show you the samples in person because I couldn't do that when I had finished knitting them because they were secret. Then I had to send them off for photography and all that stuff. But now I can show you. So this is what it looks like. It is basically the exact same construction to what I'm wearing, like kind of boxy drop shoulder shenanigan, only it's top down. I really like doing drop shoulders top down just because, like, I don't know, I get to estimate, you know, first I get to estimate the neckline and then I get to focus on the armhole length. Now this doesn't have a neckline, it is just a slit. This is the classic boat neck that you will find on the vast majority of Norwegian colorwork jumpers dating back to the 50s, give or take. And I wanted to talk a little bit about that because people have a lot of opinions about boat necks and we kind of have it in our minds that they're going to be very uncomfortable and cut right here, stuff like that. I don't know how to convince people who are boat neck skeptics, but this one is so comfortable. And because you are working it top down in the round and you're seaming to other shoulders later, I've in fact retained the ends here. Please know that I weave in ends for publications, okay? This I actually left with a note saying, like, please adapt where you want to sew in the neckline here to fit the wearer, to fit the model, because if you have it sitting just after whatever straps you have over your shoulders end so that they don't show, that is just the most comfortable. Like it ends up sitting very softly and not too high around the neck. I find it very, very comfortable. In fact, I'm going to compare it to Festive Yoke, big hit of mine. We're going to talk about it in a bit. It's a classic yoke pattern, just sits around the neck, yoke, not much else to say construction wise. It is very comfortable, but then I changed to this one just because I wanted to do photos of both of them in one go, and I felt like it fit even more comfortably. So if you prefer a yoke or a raglan, stuff like that, I think you might prefer this one too. I found it actually sat a lot more comfortably. I wasn't gonna be like messing about with trying on stuff, but I guess I will. Okay. It is quite chilly today. It's only 19 degrees in my living room, which isn't the coldest it could get, but it is also not the warmest. So I actually don't mind wearing some knitwear on the podcast. But yeah, this is how it fits. I should probably pull it back a little bit on the shoulders just because I am sitting, so it ends up falling this way right now. But yeah, this is it. It is very comfortable here, okay? It's not tight at all. It's not even flopping over. It is so comfy. There's nothing hugging, squeezing, pulling here at all. It's so nice. I hope you are convinced. But I wanted to add a little something for those of you who are knitting this. I haven't put this in the pattern. I probably won't because there's nothing really to put, okay? What I'm talking about is you can cut out your own neckline. You don't need any instructions or anything for this. What you simply need to do, first of all, is good to have used a recommended yarn because it's steek friendly. You can just cut into it. It's not really gonna complain. And take your favorite t-shirt. You're not going to destroy it. You're simply going to put a piece of paper inside of the neckline and draw around the neckline, front and back. Then cut out that shape and put that over this little like C-shape piece of paper. Put that over, center it over your jumper, and you can trace around it with a contrast yarn. And then you could just cut off that piece. I would put in some crochet sticks where it's vertical. Horizontal, you can kind of just secure those stitches with like a little bind off or something. Like, it's up to you, however you want to do that part. You can even use a sewing machine. That's probably the easier option, but like you can just simply cut out your neckline and just pick up stitches around. Only thing I'll say, if you're going to do that, you don't really need to do the double folded that we have all along here, because that's just for the neckline really. If you're not going to use the neckline this way, you know, you can simply just cast on after the double folded hem and then cut out the neckline, and then you pick up around the neckline and do a rib. I have done this in my Marius cardigan, which I do have within reach. I cut out the back of the neck just to have a slight dip for comfort, and I did it to each of the fronts. So this one I constructed exactly like this one, cut out the neckline and picked up a little rib around it, and then I folded it double, and I found that to be a pretty good choice for this. But yeah, this is not my pattern, but it is a thing I need to just off the top of my head according to the Marius chart, which only Sannes Designs have the right to distribute that knitting pattern, so that's why you'll never find that in any of my designs. But you know, that's a way you could do that. So if you want to make this particular designs, but you just do not want to do boat necks, no matter how I'm insisting that this is a very comfortable boat neck, that's the thing you can do. So, or you could do it on any other boat neck pattern out there, like have at it. It's a really cool trick that I'll definitely be doing. I feel like if I'm putting in neckline shaping in a pattern, I need to instruct how to do that. But if I'm not, then like with this one, you could just cut out a piece. And it's a really fun challenge. I'd never done it before this one, the Marius, and yeah, it's just one of those things that keep knitting interesting. Anyway, I had a matching hat pattern as well in the same publication. Nothing to write home about there. It's a regular hat. It fits. Ta-da! It matches. But I have a lot of excuse me, Hillesvåg Ask. So I also want to make a slouchier version. It's not really a lot bigger, but if I put it on like this, you can see how much taller it is. So that would be quite a silly look, but if we do this, it just slouches comfortably. So that's just different lengths that you can do. This one is a smaller size. I'm already feeling it. I remember I did them different sizes. This is definitely not my size. I am either this size or maybe one size up. My head is huge. It's very difficult when it comes to knitting hats. I've had a lot of trials and tribulations over the years. Anyway, that's Yard Rosa. You can find that in Lane. A Nordic issue. The Nordic. Is it called the Nordic issue? The Nordic edition? Nordic. I can't read from that far anymore, so we're just gonna go with that. But yeah, I am so comfortable in this jumper. It's not even my size. Fun fact. This is a very like positive ease jumper, so I made it for the model in the magazine, and plus ease kind of makes it my measurements. So it's supposed to be a lot bigger, but this is what happens if you wear it. A too small size is actually quite a cute fit, so I don't actually mind this one. But yeah, I can tell in the sleeve length that this is supposed to have a bit more, but I'm not mad about it. It's a very good fit. It's not my usual colours. I usually don't knit myself white clothes, but I asked Lane which colours they preferred of the ones that I had drawn out for them, and they wanted these, so it's fun. I get to try something a bit different. Yep, anyway, moving on. I want to wear kuusikofta more because I'm very proud of kuusikofta. It's one of those, like, you know, when you are a knitting designer, you're going to come up with a lot of patterns. So you release a lot, and then I haven't, because that's my issue, but you're supposed to. That's kind of how we pay the bills. And after a while, when you do that, you know, your designs kind of end up eclipsing each other, and some get forgotten and some don't. And I feel like kuusikofta is one of those that just stood the test of time. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Like, it's the one that stands out. Like kuusikofta, and obviously the festive yoke, vinterfjäller. Some of them that, like, you remember them. They had a moment. I remember I published kuusikofta before my, I think it was second Edinburgh Yarn Festival. I published it literally before you went through the doors, and I really wasn't sure if like it was gonna be just drowned out by all the festival shenanigans on social media, but I don't think it did. Yeah, I still see people knitting and tagging me in on Instagram, and it's just really nice. Please always make sure you at me in the description so I can see it, because I enjoy that. That being said, I need to drink water. I'm not feeling too great about Instagram lately, and it's not really new, but it's more pressing now. I don't really want to get into the icky parts of it. Instagram has been part of Meta for a long time, and Meta's been a dubious company for a long time, but it is getting dubiouser. They've laxed up a lot of their anti-harassment rules. It's not, you know, it's not like they ever upheld them very well in the first place, so it doesn't maybe make such a difference practically, but it is telling me a lot about which direction they're heading, and I'm not feeling great about it. That's one thing. And then you have the things that a lot of us have been struggling with for like the past, I don't know, 5 years, that we're not seeing the content that we came there to see. We're seeing advertisements, we're seeing reels, and we're seeing posts that are of people we haven't even chosen to follow. And you gotta go into the little logo and click people who you're following or your favorites to see anything that you care to see. And it's just a bit of a faff. And it just doesn't feel like how it used to be. It felt more community, and now it's like, oh, I didn't even know you were doing that because Instagram is not showing me this anymore. And it's punishing creators like me for not posting frequently enough. And it's just hard when you're like worked up yourself an audience, and then they take away your power to actually reach that audience that have chosen to follow you. They want to see your stuff and they're not allowed to. And so what do really? I just realized I forgot to connect my microphone. Oh well, the audio is going to be a bit naff today, but... And so what do really? What do we do about that? I am not leaving Instagram yet, but I might. For now, I am there, but I am looking at alternatives. Best alternative you can do for anyone that you don't want to lose track of if they choose to leave Instagram, or if they just are being buried by Instagram or whatever's happening, is to find their newsletter, if they have a newsletter or a blog or a website or something, and subscribe to that. That way you'll never lose your favorites. That being said, I'm looking into other alternatives in addition to my newsletter, which I need to send out more than once a year, I swear to God. I'm paying for this service, like I gotta like, oh, I swear. So I am currently on Blue Sky. Blue Sky is finally being made. It's been available for the public for a year now, and it's a really nice kind of Twitter alternative. So it's not like Instagram, it's more like Twitter, but it's nicer. and it's got a lot of really good moderation tools. You can just tune out weirdos who are mean to you, and I quite like it. But it is a more of a text-based platform, although you can post with pictures, and I intend to, because I have a knitting account there now. It's just at Skeindeer, socialbluesky.com or something like that. I'll link to it. If I don't link to it, I have it in my link tree, which I have on Instagram, so you can find it that way if I forget. So I will encourage people to get on over there for now, so we at least have an alternative, because Blue Sky is really, really nice about just showing you the stuff that you chose to follow. It doesn't give you an algorithm to show you stuff in a weird order. You get the stuff that you came out to see. But they are also working on an alternative. I already forgot what it's called. Something with S, and it's going to be kind of like their Instagram alternative. So I'm keeping an eye on that. I don't know much about it yet, but that could be interesting, and it might be somewhere for the knitting community to thrive a bit again, because it's hard to thrive as a knitter on an app that used to be a picture app and now is a video app. Like, what are we gonna do about that? It's hard to make a video about knitting, and like, how many reels can you make for one knitting project? And knitting is a slow craft, and I like it to be a slow craft, no matter how impatient I am as a person. And so, you know, it's just not suited to a video app. We came here for a picture app. We came here for the fake Polaroids, and like, you know, so I want that for us. It feels really weird to think about like knitting community online beyond Instagram, because there was a knitting community online before Instagram, but it was like all these different blogs. It wasn't this like one platform kind of thing. And we've been on Instagram for so long. Like, I think I started posting knitting content, you know, in the early 2010s. It's been well over a decade of knitting being primarily on Instagram, and it's so strange to think about us being anywhere else. So that's something to think about. Yeah, I just thought I'd like air out my thoughts here. This is probably stuff that should have gone on the end of the episode, but I have more knitting to talk about anyway. But for now, I will just encourage you to subscribe to your favorites newsletters, myself included. We have a really nice newsletter. It's good. I want to make it better, but you know, it's for now, it's what we have. And yeah, Blue Sky for now. So I think that's all I had to say. This is not like ready cooked thoughts yet, just kind of throwing my random thoughts at you there. I've actually been thinking about doing more videos like that. Like, I like to watch a lot of videos where people just sit and chat while I knit, and they never really show me any knitting. It's not really the kind of format that I do here. It's just like having that one-way conversation, unscripted. Let me know what you think. I could just do various little tidbits from live thoughts in the universe. I don't know. It's just something. I have a lot of ideas. And I am actually feeling a bit inspired lately, which is pretty cool. I look forward to being able to breathe through my nose again, so I can start doing some of these things. But yeah, I have a lot of other finished items to show you, so I'm going to go straight into that now, because I finished my festive yoke. Ta-da! I have knitted the festive yoke in navy blue Ushitita minimalist yarn. Is their kind of fingering to sport weight. I'm going to say sport weight yarn. I believe this was Blueface Leicester. It is a very scrumptious, soft, squishy Blueface Leicester. Like, a lot of the times I think of Blueface Leicester, I think about all the Blueface Leicester sock yarns that are out there, and they're quite springy and thin and kind of thready because it's such fine yarn. So this is very different than that. This is squish. This is just squish, you know, squish, squish. So yeah, I have made my, is it my 4th adult festive yoke? I made 2 for kids. I made both the all over pattern cardigan and pullover, and then I did the yoke only cardigan last year, and now I've done the yoke only pullover this year. So I guess I've done all versions in the end. Wow, that took me like 3 years, 4 years? I don't know. I don't remember when I started. But yeah, I definitely copied one of you guys who knitted 2 of the festive yokes for kids in navy blue with a white chart and put it up on Instagram, and I really liked it. I thought it was really, really nice colors because it made it a bit more of a winter design. It's not just strictly Christmas. I could wear this all year if I really feel like it. So I don't know, I'm showing you like this. It's just nice, you know? So yeah, I haven't made any modifications or anything, but I kind of wish maybe I had made it a bit longer everywhere, and I have a whole ball of yarn left, so I might lengthen everything. I'm having a weird thing lately where I'm finding all my sleeves are getting too short, which is weird because it's not like my arms have grown at the ripe old age of 35. Yeah, it was my birthday recently. So yeah, I don't really know what is up with that. I don't know why I'm suddenly finding that I need longer sleeves, but I am finding I need an inch or two more, so I might rip out these cuffs and do a slightly longer sleeves, and it's really no trouble, so. But I also found that I wanted the body longer, and that's surprising. But yeah, I'm very, very happy to be done with this. I don't really remember if I think I just used my normal size. I may have sized up once because I like doing that. I like a roomier jumper. Maybe this is tradition now. Maybe I do a festive yoke every year. It wouldn't surprise me. I'm already thinking about another one that I could do. It's a bit of a weird podcast episode, this, because I've been knitting a lot of my own stuff, just like from the archive. The next one I have to show you, I don't even know what got into me there, but I kind of do. A friend of mine's been knitting and re-knitting the sweater hog countless times. A sweater hog is one of my simpler stockinette sweater designs. It's really just like very breezy, easy, pattern fits 2 pages, like it's just stockinette. My friend, she started knitting it back around the time we met, where she wanted to use a bunch of different kind of clown barf yarns and mix them together, and found out very quickly that is a very extra jumper. So in the end she ended up ripping it out. It wasn't gonna be the rainbow jumper of her dreams. I became a little baby clothes instead. So then she decided to get solid green color yarn. She's become very like influenced by my yarn preferences since we met, which I'm kind of happy about. And she had almost finished it by the time she came over here and was knitting with me. And I was looking at it, I was like, did you get gauge? And then she starts like eyeballing the gauge, like she does that in front of me. And I'm just like, no, we're laying it down, we're getting a ruler, we're getting a measuring tape, like we're measuring the gauge. And yeah, it was 20 stitches rather than 18, so she was like, I'm fine with it, it'll be fine. I'm like, yeah, probably will be. It's positives, it's not gonna be the end of the world. But next time I saw her, she'd ripped the whole thing out and started again, getting the right gauge because she wasn't happy with the fit. And that's fine, but then the next time she ripped it out again, and I don't even remember the reason why. Yes, I remember, because she was re-knitting right from the sweater and it was all noodly and it was looking really weird, because she probably should have, like, you know, wet and dry the yarn since ripping it out. During this whole time, I started feeling like I want to knit sweater hug again. And I've obviously finished it way before she's finished hers. But yeah, so that's what this is. It's another sweater hog. It may not look it because I didn't do the funnel neck that it normally has. I just did a regular neckline because reasons. And what's a little bit funny is that I should have had more yarn for the length then, but I kind of didn't. So the rib for the body is considerably shorter. So that was interesting, but you know, I took that risk when I cast stock. I did the cuffs the same as per pattern, and yeah, this is the result. It's just simple stockinette, drop shoulder, fitted sleeves. The yarn I used here is from Stranded Dye Works. Strand is no longer in business, but I still have this yarn and I really want to knit it up. I've been really good at getting through a lot of my stash and a lot of my sweater quantities lately. I used the first half of this massive quanta of yarn to make the Skeindeer pullover design of mine, and this is the other half. So I wanted to do another version of sweater hog. So it needs a block. It actually hasn't been blocked, but it looks fine. I doubt a block is going to change much, to be honest. Hopefully it's going to add a bit more length, but it usually doesn't for me, so I guess not. But I'm very, very pleased with it. I think the color is gorgeous, and I'm just very happy that I have got through, you know, this sold sweater quantity from my first Edinburgh Yarn Festival, this sweater quantity from how many years back. I have another sweater quantity I've also eliminated, so I'm feeling very good about that. So yeah, there's not really a whole lot else to say about this. I'm really enjoying it. I really wanted to have a simple stockinette superwash jumper. Not for the superwash qualities. Sometimes I enjoy wearing superwash. Sometimes I want to wear these woolly things. I usually tend to prefer them when it's a cardigan that I can open. I can get it a bit away from my chest and my neck. Can regulate the temperature a lot more because I find non-superwash to be a lot warmer. When I'm having a pullover, I I have a slight preference for superwash, which might be surprising to many people. I'm supposed to be the woolly wool gal, and I am. I really am. I think you get a lot of really good results doing stuff like this. Like I love this. I'm gonna wear this so much now that it's not an official kind of magazine sample anymore. But yeah, I wanted this. So happy with that. Oh, I just did a big inhale and I'm like, just kind of dislodged some of the nasal stuff. I was sounding so nasal for a bit there. I swear this clothes is gonna last for the whole of February and I can't have a whole month not recording, so this is just what we're gonna have to deal with. But yes, I have done yet another pullover, and I know what you're probably thinking, like, how many jumper does one girl need? Like, do you need that many jumpers, Ellie? No, I don't. The next jumper is not for me. It is for my friend, the one who was gonna make herself a sweater hug. No, I did not knit a sweater hug for her. That would have been really funny though in hindsight. I knitted her the Do Cut sweater by Kate Davis. This is it. And this is Midwinter Yarns Black and Blue. I think it's the yarn base, not the colorway. That's the actual name of the yarn, which is a beautiful Blueface Leicester mix. This is non-superwash, so it feels very, very different from the superwash Blueface Leicester I just showed you. I'd actually forgotten that this was hand dyed, so it's got like a really nice subtle color play going on. Very subtle. It's not looking subtle on camera because it's blowing out every time I'm showing you. Which is a setting I can switch off, but I quite like that it's responding to the stuff that I'm showing you so that we get a good detailed look at everything. So I have done Kate Davis's Do Cut before. I obviously did a couple sizes up for me in the recycled wool yarn by Hobium, the yarn shop in Turkey. And I love that jumper. I actually don't get why I don't wear it more often. It's somewhere under my bed where I keep all my knitwear safely stored. And I might make myself another one because I really enjoy knitting it. It's a simple stockinette raglan with a little extra zhush in the rib, because it has like a slip stitch rib where there's like 2 purl and then a knit stitch that's slipped every other round. So it's just really, really nice. And I don't know why I am really struggling with running out of yarn lately. It's happened for so many projects of mine as of late. And that's strange because I almost always have the opposite problem. And these days I am just needing a bit more yarn. And this I was supposed to have just enough yarn, and yet we are missing like an inch or 2 in the length. So this is from the underarm and down. And it does have a relatively deep yoke, but she's short, this Do Cut. She's very short. And now I know my friend doesn't mind a crop jumper, so I really, really hope she's going to like this. But it was supposed to be longer, and I was like, you know when you're like knitting really fast so that you don't run out of yarn, because that's of course how it works. I was definitely doing that. I even like took out, I think, like a centimeter length from the cuff just in case. I don't think that did a lot. I'm very confused why I ran out of yarn for this one, because yeah, I took out like 2 rounds less for the neckline, and I decreased the sleeves at a different rate. So usually you're supposed to decrease to like maybe about here, and then you knit straight, and then you decrease a lot at the cuff. I just kept decreasing gradually here, so I know I would have saved yarn that way. And yeah, I ran out somehow. I mean, these things can happen. Like, as designers and as knitters, we only have so much control over the yarn amount that we use, and it's why there's good practice to always have an extra skein of yarn. At least if you're dealing with 50-gram units, but I was dealing with 100-gram units, so that wasn't really going to happen. And I was really happy to use up one of my smaller sweater quantities because it was too small to knit anything for me. Where was I going with this? Yeah, we only have so much control because yarns could have more or less meters or yards than they say on the ball band. That could be the case for the designer, so their estimate can be off because of that, or that can be the case for the knitter, so that what they think that they have isn't what they actually have. You know, there could be many reasons. We're all doing the best that we can, and sometimes you get a slightly extra crop jumper. It is already supposed to be cropped, so we're not losing a lot. It's like literally a matter of this much. It's not really a big deal. So I really hope my friend is going to like this. It is her birthday in a couple of days, so at least I finished it in due time. I'm very happy about that. But yeah, she's a very good friend. I've been friends for years, and it's very fun to knit for other people. It's especially fun to knit for other knitters. That is, you know, they're gonna be grateful and want to wear it and just have an appreciation of knitwear that most of us most other people wouldn't have. Hey, are you here to join us? Come on. Oh, look at little Miss Sleepy who's decided to join us today. Oh. So yeah, for those of you who haven't met, this is Embla. She moved in with me in June. She is my sun and my moon and my everything. I guess for those of you who came for the knitting, I think that's over. I have showed you everything that I have made so far, and the only work in progress I have is the design that I'm working on with a dyer friend of mine. So you'll hear about that when we're closer to the finishing line. But yeah, I guess I can say that it's all over lace, a very simple lace pattern in DK weight superwash yarn. Worsted weight, actually, it's worsted weight. So it's zooming through. I have got through, I think, 3 seasons of The Expanse while knitting this. I'm watching The Expanse for the 5th time now. I love that show. Like, I don't get it. Like, everyone's on about Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon. I'm like, I like those shows, but The Expanse is like better and in space. I don't know why I made the Game of Thrones comparison. It's not really similar, but it is about, you know, great characters, political intricacy, but it's set in the future. It's like maybe like 300 years in the future, where the humans of Earth, Mars, and the asteroid belt are at war, at the brink of war rather. So they aren't really getting on, because humans have colonized the solar system and have, you know, become different fractions, and it's like a whole I love that show. It's so good. Watching it for the 5th time, and we'll do it again for sure. I assume knitters like watching TV, like what are we gonna do over knit, you know, just knit? I don't think so. So anyway, I wanted to finish up this little episode talking about some acquisitions. I don't have any knitting acquisitions, though I am going to unravel this weekend. I will not unravel, I will go to unravel. The Yarn Festival south of London, that is twice a year, and it's the February one that is like the good one that I really enjoy. But they're both good, but you know, that's the one. So I'll maybe end up with something from there, who knows. But until then, I haven't been buying any yarn or knitting stuff that I can think of. I have, however, got a little bit of a birthday treat. I sent my mum thrifting for me. I swear, like, the stuff that my mum will go along with now that she's retired is like a whole another thing. Like, if I'd asked her this a couple of years ago, I'd be like, absolutely not. But she has been going through a couple of thrift shops looking for stuff that I have been wanting, and one of those things is I wanted more lampshades for those wall sconces that I got last time I was in Norway in April, that I still need to rewire so I can plug them in the UK and put them up on my walls. Haven't done that yet, but I did need more lampshades for them, and my mum found me these, and the plan was to recoat them in some tartan or something, but when I was looking at them I was like, they're hella cute. We're not redoing these. Look at them. Aren't they adorable? I really hope they're in focus. So I'm gonna have these. So this is a little bit of, this is not a home decor channel. You can only do so much for the next council flat, but I like to put my touch on this place, and it's my vision is like the mountain cabin we had in the family growing up, that my mum for some reason sold, and I dream about it every night. I swear, I miss it so much. But what it's looking like, it's more like my grandma's near the city apartment that had the same sort of decor, but it wasn't an apartment, so it's just kind of looking a bit more like that. Like, she had a lot of cushions like these and tapestries. And anyway, my mum found a tapestry, another one. I thought it was gonna be bigger, but I really like this size actually, because I already have a massive one that I still need to put up properly. So she found me this. It's going up this way, and like, I've just been hanging it over the door while I find out where I want to put it. But as it's been hanging there, I'm like, can I do that? Can I just have it hanging on the door? Is that I just have this like rule in my brain that it needs to go on the wall, but maybe it doesn't. Maybe I could just have it on the door. I don't like these doors. I think they're really ugly, so maybe that's like what I need to be doing. This was sent in the post to me, which is amazing. And another thing, as part of the birthday present, is that my mom is going to help me with the cost of transporting a massive tapestry that I found on eBay and shipped to a friend of mine in Frederick in the States. and it's too big to be brought over. Like that was the plan, for her to come over here with it, but it doesn't fit in any suitcase. It needs to be posted and it's gonna be expensive. So I am finally getting help with that, and that is gonna be another little nice touch to the apartment. But the last thing that was sent to me is this cushion. This one you've seen lots of times. It's actually part of that tapestry in Frederick. Not part of it, like there was a matching cushion to the tapestry, and the cushion was easy to bring over, so I already have that. But this cushion, kind of I guess a birthday present from my uncle, because he's had this for years because it was made by my grandma, his mom. That is a really nice touch. It's so beautiful. Let's do a little close up. I didn't hear the focus, but I'm gonna assume it's in focus, I think. So yeah, it's again the sort of type of embroidery that I just really like to look at. It's just beautiful. I just want lots of cushions like these because my grandparents always had these, and they're really decorative, and yeah, very old-fashioned, but they become so difficult to find. And my mom said that according to the people working in these thrift shops that she's been talking to, is that people are buying them in huge quantities to re-sew into mittens. So people are destroying these cushions now, and I'm panicking because I need to get my mitts on them before they're becoming mitts. No pun intended, but like, so I'm kind of freaking out because I can't go thrifting in Norway from here, so I'm a bit stressed out by that, honestly. So if any of you are in Norway and you're seeing any of these in the thrift shops, I'm interested. I want more of them. 2 is a nice touch, but like I want lots. They're so nice. I guess the obvious answer here is for me to learn this type of embroidery, and I suppose I could. And with that, I think I have reached the end of this episode. I feel like I talked really fast because, I don't know, this cold it's not very comfortable talking right now, and I'm coughing a lot between the takes, but we'll get through it. It will be fine. I actually don't even have the cold anymore. It's just like this cough that's lingering and lingering and lingering. It's fine. I'm La. Say hi. She's so cute. She's getting her hair cut in two days, so we'll hopefully see her face again soon. But yeah, that's all I had for today. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching and being along for the ride for all the years that I've been doing this little show, and I will hopefully see you in not too long. So yeah, bye bye.